So a lot of you guys are probably senior, junior year, maybe in college, and you're getting to a point where you're trying to either find an internship or you're trying to land something for full time. And I want to really I want you guys to get a better understanding of what you're getting yourself into. I know all the time that we're in college, we're always hearing that, oh, you got to land an internship, or you got to get a full-time job right after college. And while we agree with it, I don't think a lot of us really know why. It's one of those things that seems so positive and it seems like a new norm, basically. In some parts of the world, there's that gap for like a year where before students from high school enter college, they either take a year then to just travel, enjoy themselves. Whereas here in the United States, if you take a gap year without a valid reason, and even to have a valid reason for, let's say, oh, you just didn't even really know what you want to do, you're kind of given a negative viewpoint or a negative shadow placed on yourself. And it's kind of unfortunate, but that's just how it is. And a lot of us, even if financially it makes more sense for us to go to a community college, we really want to push to get into that 4 year university right off the gate. And not having that year towards the start of your career or towards the start of your academic journey for your later on career, not having that doesn't allow you to have some time to really reflect on like life stuff, you growing outside of the classroom. And even with the case of taking a year off after you graduate to simply just live life and not go directly into working the career that you're probably going to work for 30, 40 years, it leaves a lot for you to wonder why you are taking such hardship or you're taking such, I can't even really think of the word. It's the amount of focus and the amount of priority is probably the best word, the amount of priority you give to making that happen. Just because you don't get that job right away does not mean that you're never going to get a job. I know a lot of people are super scared that if you don't land a job right out of college, that you failed, that you messed up. And even if that is a actual goal of yours, like let's say you weren't persuaded into thinking that way, but you literally legitimately always were at the back of your mind saying, I need to get a job right after college. I need this. I want it. This is what I'm doing for myself, not for anybody else. If that was truly your mindset, and let's say you don't land something right away, what's the worst thing that could happen? Obviously, everyone's situation is different, but I'm talking about majority of you guys. Majority of you guys can go back at home. Let's say you were living out of state. You're coming back home to your parents, and you could find work at some sort of job, I'm assuming, even if it's not the pay grade that you initially wanted. Let's say you went for computer science and you can't land a job right away after college. Maybe you're working at a help desk, maybe you're working retail, maybe you're working IT support for something, and you're not making as much as you want. But there's could be a lot of things that factor into that. What if the job market isn't hiring right now? What if companies simply just don't need workers right now? What if there's not enough work to be given to the workers that were already initially hired, and now there's a pushback on their start date? There's so much volatility that you can't really put too much pressure on you. Obviously do the things you need to do. Obviously apply to jobs, network, go out there, make a name for yourself. Obviously do that. I'm not telling you not to. But I'm saying if you're doing everything right and you're not seeing the result that you want, but you know the steps that you're taking are appropriate, you can only do so much. Obviously you have to do the extra stuff, right? But if you're checking all the boxes, if you're running down the right path, eventually you will get there. I don't want you to think that you're a complete failure just because you don't land a job right after college. I have friends that got jobs 6 months after graduating, 3 months after graduating. And that's to show that yes, that degree can still get you to that job. It's just the time that you initially thought that you were going to get to where you wanted to be is just slightly delayed. What if I told you that you're going to get a job 3 years, not 3 years, let's say 1 year, 1 year after graduating, you will land your dream job, your dream entry level job. And you're going to get your salary, you're going to get paid, and you're going to be able to pursue that career path for the rest of your life. Let's say you have that option. If you have a year to just live life, what are you going to do with that time? Are you going to vacation? Are you going to travel the world? Are you going to spend time with your friends who you haven't seen in a while? Are you going to catch up with a teacher who played a significant role in your upbringing? Are you going to go volunteer at a church or the place of worship? You can still live life. And maybe that's something that you kind of forget sometimes. The most important things that matter to you, the things that you get the most joy, aren't always going to be glorified. The reason you want that job so bad, the reason you want that job so bad, is because the prestige that you think everyone's going to give you, the round of applause, the congratulation post, the, oh, I'm so proud of my son, he's working at this high company. I'm not saying never to go for that. I'm not telling you that that's a bad thing. But the praise that you get from the things that truly will make you happy comes from within you. You're proud of yourself for volunteering at the local food bank. You were proud of yourself for going out there and connecting with the teacher who maybe gave you that little bit of advice that made you perform better and just get your head back on straight and allow you to be somewhat successful. Nobody's gonna really congratulate you. Yeah, maybe one person, but compare that to landing the entry level job right away at a super high company. Obviously, the praise for that's gonna be so much more. If you really think about it, you have your whole life to work. Whether that's for a company, whether it's for yourself, whether it's with one of your best friends from college, working is inevitable. You're going to be working out in the gym, you're going to be working out in the corporate world maybe, or you're going to be working out in the startup. There's always something for you to work on, and there's always going to be work for you. Even if it isn't at that corporate setting right away, or if it isn't in healthcare, whatever career path you are going into, even if it's not at that job right now, does not mean you won't eventually get it. You have to continue to work hard, but at the same time, if that goal takes a little longer, it's okay, bro. You're going to be here for a long time. You're doing the things you need to do to keep healthy. Make sure you meditate, keep your mental health right, your physical health, and also maintain those relationships. And it comes with time, bro. Don't think that, oh, I'm a failure just because you didn't get a job right away out of college. Yes, it's good. It's definitely beneficial. But, hey, man, there's so much more to life than just simply landing your dream job the moment you graduate from college. Make sure to look at the bigger picture, and maybe you'll realize that what you're worrying about isn't even that important. I've opened up coaching for you guys down below. Spots are limited, so make sure you click the link in my bio and set up a call with me today. As always, guys, you know what to do. The choice is yours.